What's up, guys? This is my hands-on review of the new DJI Phantom 4 quadcopter. Now, if you've been looking for a quadcopter for a while now, but you just haven't found the right one, or you've been waiting, I think this one is a surefire bet that you'll be pretty happy with the results with what this has to offer. Now, DJI last year, they came out with 3 different versions, and then they threw a 4th one into the mix. So people were a little confused about which one they wanted or which one they actually needed. Well, this time they just made one in the Phantom series, and that is the Phantom 4. So no more having to figure out which one you need. This one is the one you need. So they made up your mind for you, and I like that they did that. Real quick, I want to cover some of the features and highlights of this guy. There is tap to fly. That means you have the transmitter and then you have your iPad. You tap on that screen and the quadcopter will fly where you tap. They also have active track. What active track does is it tracks moving objects or people. You basically draw a square around the object or the person, and they can start moving or running or even driving, and the quadcopter will track them. No extra bracelet or phone or transmitter involved. It does it all with the camera and tracking it that way. So there's also a sport mode on this. Now, the last Phantom cruised along pretty well. Well, this one now will hit speeds up to 45 miles per hour, and that can be very handy, especially if you're chasing something or you're trying to get somewhere very quickly. You switch to that sport mode and you can just zip right along. There's also the point of interest, which is awesome for highlighting like buildings. If you want to circle a building or a certain object, get really smooth professional shots that way. They have waypoints, which allows you to tap out your flight before you actually fly. So that's really neat too. And then they have a new smart return to home function. So if you're out and about, you lost your orientation, or you just don't know where this thing went, you can hit that return to home, and that will actually go up and avoid obstacles as it comes back to you to land safely. Now, the Phantom 4 does come with a 4K camera, and the gimbal has been integrated into the actual body of the quadcopter, so you're gonna get smoother shots. And I've flown this in winds up to like 35-40 miles per hour, and it's totally impressive. It's totally smooth, and yeah, it's really nice. They have the light bridge technology, so you hook up your iPad or your iPhone to this, and you can fly up to 3.1, or it's like 3 miles, yeah, about 3.2 miles, 3.1 miles away, and view the footage from the camera directly from your iPad or iPhone right as you're flying in 720p. So that's pretty sweet. They've updated the VPS, the Vision Positioning System. It uses 4 sensors now. Before it just used 2. So they have 2 in the front, and then they have 2 on the bottom, and they also have sonar technology that basically sends little beeps off the ground so that the quad can just fly a little bit more stable. Well, obviously there's a new battery. Every time DJI makes a new quadcopter, they seem to make a new battery. That's okay, because now they've increased flight time to about 28 minutes. Now, that 28 minutes, you might want to bring it down to around 20 minutes, because when you're flying a quad, when it gets down to around 30% or 20%, usually you want to bring it down just to be safe, especially in windy environments. But that 28 minutes is probably flying from 100% all the way down to 0%. You get that 28 minutes, but it is improved up to 25% than the Phantom 3 Pro. Now, charge time for this new battery, it's a little bit bigger battery, and I've noticed charge time to be a little bit more than my Phantom 3 Pro. Even if I only have 2 bars on that and charge it, it just seems to take about 30 to 40, no, more like 45 minutes, especially from a dead battery. So picking another battery up is definitely a good idea. Now, the charger has changed. Everything on the quadcopter itself is just like super glossy white. Everything's a gloss white. The charger's white, and it's only available in Apple stores until the end of this month. So they might have something to do with that, because their chargers look like Apple chargers. But anyway, something that's really nice about the chargers is that you can plug it into the battery either or way, which is really cool. It doesn't matter which way. That's kind of like the lightning port on the iPhone and the iPad. So what else is new? We have the sport mode, so you can fly up to 45 miles per hour. The last one I think only flew 35 miles per hour. We have the active track, that is new. The tap to fly, that is new. And we have the 2 new sensors for the BPS, and the play button on the transmitter has changed to a pause button. So if you're doing a mission and you want to pause, you just hit the pause button and it will freeze the quadcopter and hold it in its location right there. Now, some other differences from the previous Phantom is that they raised the motors. Now, the reason for this, they said, is so you don't get the props in your shot. Well, that doesn't quite happen. I mean, maybe you won't get them as much, but when you're flying, especially fast, you're still gonna see props, and yeah, it gets crazy. But they did a good job lifting them up a little bit better. They look really good, and the thing is super fast. Now, as for the camera, the differences between the Phantom 3 Pro and the Phantom 4, they said they tweaked the camera. They tweaked the camera to shoot 1080 at 120 frames per second. And I'll put some of that footage up on the screen, and I'm not too impressed by this. Most likely I probably won't use it, but if you need to shoot some slow motion, you do have that capability now, and they might even pass that on to the Phantom 3 Pro and the previous models, I'm not sure. Something that is another big change is that they have the push to release propellers. So these are supposed to be quicker to change, which they are. They're really simple. You just push them on and twist, and then you push them on and twist them off. And this is supposed to help for better braking. The quad does fly faster, so I guess these are supposed to help the quad brake faster somehow. But anyway, the SD card location has changed. Before, it was kind of like on the plate of the gimbal, and when you think about it, it wasn't a very good location. Now it's right in the solid body of the Phantom 4. So real easy to pop in and out, and it just looks really good right there. And another slight difference between the Phantom 3 Pro and the Phantom 4 is that the Phantom 4 does take a little bit longer to warm up. It actually has a new doo-doo-doo sound, but there's also, it sounds like an eternal fan that kind of just cools off the innards a little bit. It might take, you know, a few minutes just for it to warm up. So what's in the box? Well, inside the box is actually another styrofoam box, and this styrofoam box actually doubles as a carrying case for the Phantom 4. It is absolutely perfect. They actually have a metal clasp. It's I believe it's cast aluminum, and it's a locking mechanism, so you can lock your Phantom in there and carry it around. I mean, the handle on this thing is actually a really nice handle. It's rubberized on the bottom, feels really good, and it can hold your battery, your Phantom, your transmitter, your iPad mini. It won't hold a full iPad, but it does hold an iPad mini, so it's really nice, and all your props. That is absolutely awesome. So you really don't need to buy a case anymore. So real quick, let's take a look what comes in the box. We have the transmitter itself. We have the Phantom 4. We have a charger. We have one battery, 5,350 milliamp hours. We have 8 propellers with a nice propeller bag. And then we have, of course, the gimbal, the camera, and they include a 16 gigabyte SD card, which is good for, well, if you're recording in 4K, it's only going to record for about 15 minutes. So getting a bigger SD card is probably a good idea, but it's nice that they include that 16 gigabyte SD card. Then we have a USB extender and a micro USB cable for updates for the transmitter, whatnot. We have a set of directions, and they have a new gimbal support, and it's kind of a gimbal support and a lens cover at the same time, so you can keep your gimbal nice and solid. So one of the biggest questions I always get about the drones is it easy to fly? And the answer is yes, because they make this thing so easy to fly that you can automatically take it off. You can tap to just fly it around, like, oh, I want to go over there, or I want to go over there, and then it just senses thing that's in its way, and it will go up and around, or it will just halt right there. So Yes, it's easy to fly. Now, if you want to take full manual controls, I'd suggest going to the middle of a field and just playing with it a little bit. And after, you know, a little bit of flying, a couple flights, you'll be able to fly this pretty darn good, and you're only going to get better the more and more you fly it. And what's really nice about this is that if you're flying up and high and you just lose your orientation, you can let go of the sticks and the quadcopter will just stay there. It just floats there with GPS, so you can kind of align yourself or do whatever you got to do to get that thing back to you safely. And if you can't do that, you can always hit the smart return to home and it will land by itself. Active track is absolutely crazy because you don't have to wear a bracelet, you don't have to have the transmitter with you, you don't have to do anything. All you need to do is be 9 feet off the ground and have a moving subject, and then you just draw a square around that subject and hit go, and it will start to track them. Now, it doesn't go, it will, in this mode, I don't think it goes, I don't know, maybe 25 or 35 miles per hour. It's not going to go, you know, the 45 like it would in sport mode. So if you're trying to chase a car or chase something like a dirt bike that's moving super fast, you're not going to catch it. It's probably eventually going to go out of frame. But what's also neat about this is that when you're actually tracking someone, you can move around and do a 360 to get a 360 shot around that person or thing that's moving. Totally cool. Alright, so see what I did there? I just made a little square around the truck, and now it is tracking. What's really neat about this, you can rotate around by using the right stick. Go here in the shade a little bit, but you can see it tracking. Now watch this. Let me make sure I'm up high enough there. But now what I want to do is start circling it. So I'm going to push on the right stick, and I can start circling it. But it's obviously going too fast for the drone here. You can see it does a really good job there at tracking it. Now, point of interest is awesome, especially for videographers, to where you want to get that circular shot, like the building or just anything. And it's really easy to use, and you can adjust the speeds and all that. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Guys, so we're gonna go ahead and do the point of interest, and I have a little quarry below me here, and I'm just gonna go to right about where I want to be above it, making sure I'm gonna, you know, clear all the trees and things like that. So that looks like a good spot, and I'm also gonna start recording right now. So now we're recording, and this is about where I want to be. Now I'll click this little joystick right here, okay, and then I can do the intelligent, and now I'm going to do point of interest. And what it's going to have me do to do the point of interest is fly the aircraft to above a subject of interest and set the position at that point of interest. And this is where I want to do. So I'm going to record the point of interest. I can set the speed and the radius. I actually want the radius to be at least, let's do 40 feet, okay? And then I can turn it, I can turn up the how fast I want it to go. So I'm just going to click apply, and current altitude 75 meters, and I hit apply, and it's going to start going. I can slow it down a little bit. I can pan up and down too. while I'm circling it. The wind is, you know, it's a little bit windy today, probably around 20-mile-per-hour winds or so. And also while I'm doing this, I can also reverse. So now I want to reverse. And then I can hit exit. The aircraft will hover after this mode. You just said okay, and boom. And now I can go back to normal, and I'm set to go and fly again. So real quickly, I want to go over the camera specs. The max image size is 4,000 by 7,000, so you can take amazing still shots with this, and the gimbal is just so steady and smooth. You can actually take time lapses with this too. It's just crazy. And I'll put some of that footage up there so you can check out that time lapse. But we can shoot 4K video at 24 frames per second, 25 and 30 frames per second. And like I said, they tweaked the camera to that 1080 by or 1080 at 120 frames per second, and it looks all right. But I'll put some more of that, and you can decide for yourself. So is the camera smoother? Yes, it's much smoother. The first 2 days I got this, I had winds up to 45 miles per hour just waiting to fly, and I really didn't want to risk anything, especially with it being so new that it might fly away. I wasn't really too concerned though, because I've flown the Phantom 3 Pro in high winds before, and it's just amazing at how well they hold their position. But definitely don't take your eye off them, and always be ready to correct it, because those gusts of winds will really throw this thing. Now DJI's VPS is pretty sweet because it has like 4 sensors that can see in front of it, see below it. It can't see to the right or to the left or behind it, but it also has the sonar technology that sends beams off the ground, kind of like a submarine, and it helps to keep the quad stable when you're flying without GPS. So for flying indoors and that. Now something else that's really neat about this is that it actually, if you're gonna fly into something, it will stop and the transmitter beeps at you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the VPS, the Vision Positioning Sensor. You can see here in front of me, it says 14 feet. Now watch as I take this up. I'm going to back up just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start flying, see my drone right there? Directly at the barn. So I'm going to move in just slow, just... And you can see now that it's detecting it, and it wasn't letting me go any far forward. Let me go back here a little bit and show you one more time. Alright. So here I am. I mean, I know I could probably fly as fast as I wanted to right now, but still, it's just... So you can see the 20 foot, 18 foot. And it's like, no, don't go any further. And the transmitter kind of beeps at you too. And it's not letting me go any further. I can't go forward anymore. So, real quick too, you can see I'm flying GPS right now. I'm gonna go in here and I'm probably gonna lose satellite, okay? And you see, it switched to safe to fly, non-GPS. And I'll just do a position hold real quickly right here, okay? There's a position hold. You can see also in front of me, 11 foot. And when I'm flying in here, let's see if it's gonna stop. See, just like that, it just stopped. So let's go back this way. And it says 15 feet, I'm gonna fly. and stops. See? Let's go this way. Alright, I'm gonna fly at this wall. And stops. See? And I can't go any far forward. So back and forward again. Now I'm getting a little bit more confident in this. That's pretty awesome right there. And running low on power, so I'm gonna just go ahead and land. Alright guys, so let's just take a look around the actual quadcopter and the transmitter itself. We'll start off here with the quadcopter. You can see that the motors have definitely been raised up, just like I had mentioned. And the propellers that come with it, they are the snap-on kind, where they push down and twist. Now, one's silver and the other one is black, and on the actual quad itself, they're marked. So you got black here and see no black there. So that would indicate that you'd put the black on here, and all you do to put these on, you just push on, push down, and twist. So it's very, very simple to put these on and to take them off. So one twist one way, one twist the other. So over here on the back, you see the new battery, and it just slides out like this. Now, you can charge this battery either way, plug the charger in either way. However, if you look closely at it, one side with the grip on it is a little bit bigger than the other one. So the smaller side actually goes on the bottom, and it just slides in there. Over here on the front, we have the two new sensors here for the VPS, and that will just let you know if something's in front of you. The other sensors are down here at the bottom. Look at that, they just look crazy. I think these are the sonar. These basically send out, it's kind of like a submarine, send out the beeps or whatnot. It beeps off the ground, and that way it knows how to hold its position. But here's the camera. The camera now has the gimbal inside the body, and you can see there, and it's got more, instead of just one motor on one side, it actually has a motor there now on both sides. Something that they did, which I think is awesome, is switching the SD card location. Now it's here on the side, right next to the mini USB, and you can just pop that SD card out and put it in, and it's just so much better than how it was before when it was down like on the gimbal. Just yeah. Also, the lights are different. I think they're a little bit brighter, and they just kind of have this nice circular indented part here. So yeah, that basically sums it up. We got little landing gear, and this thing is fast too, so I do have some bugs on the actual quad, but that basically sums up everything around there. And there's ventilation here. I mentioned when you turn this thing on, it is a little bit louder because I think there's an internal fan in it. But yeah, that's that. So we'll look here at the transmitter. Transmitter hasn't changed a whole lot, but we have the power button, we have the return home, we have the charge status right down here at the bottom. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. So you can see it's fully charged there. Over here on the side, this is the charging port right there. Bada bing, you just plug it in there and it charges. Around here on the back, we got some programmable buttons, and also the USB and the micro USB if you need to update the transmitter or whatever. This is the gimbal wheel, okay? So if you want to point the gimbal down, you just pull that down. If you want to tip it up, you just push this up. Here we have the different modes, P, S, and A, and auto hold, on, off. And then this is the record, and over on this side, this has changed to the pause button. So these different modes, this is for if you wanted to go into sport mode or ADI mode. Otherwise, P mode is where you'll find all your modes and really safe flying like that. These are the antennas, and they just, you can position them differently. And then we have the phone mount. Now I have the iPad Air 2, and the iPad Air 2 fits in there, it just doesn't fit in there with a case. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So this thing just slides down like that, folds down, and you're good. So I can open that back up, open this up, put this guy in here like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and just turn on the quadcopter now. Now something you might notice when I turn on the quadcopter is that it does have a different noise to it. Listen. Similar noise, just maybe different speaker or something. I'll go ahead and turn on the transmitter, and we're going to open up the DJI Go app. We'll take a quick look around this app because there is lots of things to go through, and I'm just going to cover some of the things. But right now what it's doing, it is warming up. Firmware is required. I always have a firmware required, it seems like, but I still fly sometimes with the old firmware, and I've been doing it with the Phantom 2 and the Phantom 3, and it worked fine, so whatever. But if I wanted to, I could go ahead and update that. But I'm gonna exit out of this because I just want to go through the app. Right now you can see right here it says 2 feet. Let me flip this around real quick, and I want to show you something. Forward obstacle sensing blocked, and that's because I was too close to that wall. Now you can see it's 3 feet and I'm too close again. So that's what's working there, and it's working off these sensors right here. So if there's a wall or something, and right now I'm in manual that's why this is so overexposed. And you can do manual controls on this, or you can do auto. I can switch to auto right here, and then it will just pick it for you. So anyway, let's see, where should we start here? There's so much that we can go over here. I'll go right into the features. When you're in the P mode, there will be this little remote control right here. You just click that remote, and all these things pop up here at the bottom. You can do tap to fly, active track, normal, and intelligent. And when we click into intelligent, more menus come up, like point of interest. That point of interest will circle. You can see it's like circling a pyramid. We have the follow me, to where it won't track you, but instead it follows the transmitter. We have waypoints, which you preset out your flight path. Like you'll actually fly it to each point and then press set point, flight to the next point, press set point, flight to the next point, press set point, and then you'll come back home, and then you can press go and it will fly the path that you just did. So that's waypoints. Home lock is when, I'm not gonna get too much to that one just because it's, I don't know, but when it's flying around you, or say you lost where it is in the sky, okay, you can turn on home lock, and then you can pull back, and it will come straight back towards you no matter which orientation it is. So definitely a good feature, say if it were to get lost. Course lock is when you can pick the orientation of the quad. Say if we wanted the back of it or the side of it to be front, and the front of it to be left, the back of it to be right, and then we can keep it locked in that position no matter what, right there with course lock. I just want to look around some other things here real quick. I can pull up a map of where I am. It says safe to fly right now, non-GPS. That's because I'm inside, it's not getting a GPS signal. We can take photos, we can switch it over here to video, and like I said, we can do auto or manual. And let's go back to photos here real quick. There's also, I'm gonna switch to auto, and when I go into menu, I can go different things like the photos, the image size, image format, the white balance. I can also go through a couple different styles. We have the standard, so if I want to adjust like softness, the contrast, I can do things like that. And also in this mode, where's it at here? They have a place where you can add different filters. You can adjust the white balance, so if it's sunny out, cloudy, fluorescent lights, and then you can also do the custom. And then we have a color too. We can do sign like D, like you do the beach, dream, classic, and honestly messing with some of these while you're flying can get you some really cool videos. So besides that though, we can always go back and play our previous videos right from the app. We can share those videos right from the app. We can edit those videos right from the app. And let me just kind of, I guess I'll just take you there real quick. Let me back out here and I'll go home. I'll go to library. And here in the library now, I can go to previous ones and look, I can cut them right here. Say if I wanted to cut that shot and save. And then what I can also do is add actually music to the background. Let's see here, is this gonna let me up? So now I can go in here and I can add different music. I don't know if you can hear that. So while you're flying, the Phantom 3 or the Phantom 4 doesn't make any noise. So you put some music in the background, make it so much cooler. So anyway, back out of there. This also has so much more features, such as your flight. I can do my flight records right here, and I can see exactly the location I flew, the distance, the time, the max altitude, the photos that I took, and I can actually click on those too, and I can see my flight path. I can actually even zoom out and hit play, and it will refly the flight path, which is just awesome. So that covers I mean, there's so much to do in this app. There's just, I mean, there's even other apps that you can download that will work with this, that will actually map like your property line, your anything. It's just crazy. So there you go, the new DJI Phantom 4. This thing is one heck of a machine, and it is just totally awesome. If you're looking to get into quadcopters and you want to take awesome aerial video and photos and have all the bells and whistles, definitely check this one out. I would definitely recommend it. So that's that. I'll put a link in the description. Thanks for watching.